Hello, Lego over here, and we're back today on F1 2020. And as you can see, we are here at the Baku City Circuit in Azerbaijan for round 7 of the IXR season. Currently, we are out in qualifying, and we're on the soft tire. We're going to try and qualify on the softs. We're going to try and get a good lap in here. Just warming up the tires now. Tire wear on these softs is quite high, so that will be definitely something to consider for the race. But we're on our qualifying lap now, currently exiting turn 1 and now heading into turn 2, and we're going to try and set up for the straight. Exiting now, activating the DRS. We've taken the first 2 corners pretty good, and now heading down the straight into turn 3, braking, using the outside curb. Don't touch the inside curb, but use all of the exit. Turn 4, missing the inside curb, and on the exit we take it pretty nicely, no oversteer whatsoever. Turn 5, and it's a purple first sector as you can see on the track map. Exiting turn 6, and we're still taking this lap pretty nicely here. Turn 7, you really have to take that inside curb. We take it pretty nicely. For the castle section, it's very easy to make a mistake, and could have definitely pushed that a bit more, but still not bad. Exiting the left-hander, and the exit is pretty good. Now heading through the 2 flat-out left-handers as we head downhill. Turn 15, the track falls away, and you have to absolutely send it on that curb, which we do very nicely there. Into the final braking zone of the lap, missing the inside curb, exiting, and it was a purple second sector, and now heading through this flat-out S section basically, and now the kink of turn 20. Coming up to the line, what will the lap be? My PB is a 37.4, so as we head down this straight, we're going to hopefully get close to that. Crossing the line now, it's a 37.6, so that's only 0.2 off of my PB, so a pretty decent lap, and obviously we're still going to try and improve on that lap. So on our second and final lap now in this qualifying session, exiting turn 1, and we're pretty equal on our previous time. For turn 2 though, we missed the apex and we've lost nearly 1/10 of a second at just that one corner. So that was not ideal at all, and we're already 1/10 down on our previous lap. Exiting turn 3 and we're 1.5 down. Turn 4 and we have a slight lockup and go deep. We get a terrible exit because of it, and now we're more than 2/10 down on our previous lap. Heading through and out of turn 6, and we manage to gain back 1/10 of a second heading into turn 7, and the exit is not great and we lose all of that time once again. Heading up the castle section now into this left-hander, and we take too much of the curb and we end up invalidating the lap. So that's it for our qualifying session, and we miss out on pole position by 85 thousandths of a second, and FGE Brent lines up behind us in P3. The strategy for this race is going to be soft to hard for us, and you can see on the race director some people starting on hards as well as one person on the mediums, so it'll be interesting to see how it pans out for them. We're on the formation lap right now, just trying to get the tires warmed up, and as we line up on the grid here to start this Azerbaijan Grand Prix, it's 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights here. It's lights out and let's go racing, and we get a decent start but unable to get alongside JB up ahead. We have to defend from FGE Brent, who's on our outside, exiting turn 1. Now into turn 2, we're just about ahead of FGE Brent. We've been hit from behind, so we have to brake extra hard to make sure we don't hit the wall, and because of that we have lost so much time to JB in front of us. The gap to him is already 1.4 seconds as we exit turn 3. It's now 1.3 seconds, but we have a lot of work to do if we want to close back into that 1 second gap, because oftentimes it can be quite difficult as we head through turn 6. And now exiting turn 6, and Ragayut has managed to make his way up into P3 as we head into turn 7. And at this stage of the race, we really have to try and get back within that 1 second window of JB in front of us, because on lap 3 when the DRS gets enabled and the guys behind have DRS, but I don't, I'll be a sitting duck on the straights and I won't be able to do anything about it. So if we have the DRS from JB in front of us, not only will it help us pull away and reel in the gap to JB in front, but it will also help us defend from a move if anyone behind goes for a move on us. So exiting through the S section and onto the straight to finish off the first lap of this race. And Ragayut is half a second behind us. He's just going to be gaining time on this straight since he has the slipstream. And we're using some of the battery here, but we're nearly out of deployment for this lap. Heading into turn 1 to start the second lap of this race. And the gap to JB up ahead is 1.2 seconds, and we're just trying to close that in corner by corner here, exiting onto the straight, and the gap is 1.1 seconds, and behind us Ragayut has dropped back slightly, which gives us a bit of breathing space for now as we exit turn 3, and the gap up ahead is just closing down ever so slightly as we exit turn 4. The gap is just over 1 second, and heading into this chicane we set a purple first sector, so clearly we have the pace at this stage of the race here. Now the gap is just about under 1 second, but that doesn't mean the work is done yet because JB has just about kept us out of 1 second, so we have to keep pushing as we head up the hill out of the castle section through the left-hander now, exiting the left-hander, and now we're going to head down this little high-speed section. But the safety car has been deployed in this race. On lap 2 of this race, the safety car has been deployed here, and we have to make a crucial decision here, and that is, do we pit for the soft tire? And exiting turn 16 now, and what I was thinking at this stage of the race is I'm just going to react to what JB does in front, and I'll be ready to make a pit stop if I have to. The hards will have to be a stretch from here to the end of the race, but we're going to have to try and make it work. And we're ready to go into the pits, and you can see JB makes a last minute move into the pit lane, so we're going to follow him into the pits, and we're going to change onto the hard compound of tires, and we're going to stretch these hards all the way to the end of the race here. And we get held slightly by that Mercedes of JB, but not too much lost time, and basically a free pit stop as we're under safety car. You can see the top 3 currently, the people who are currently in the top 3 have all stayed out. They all have to make a pit stop. They've either started on the hards or the mediums here, and as we cut onto the end of this safety car period, we're just going to try and get a good restart here. We're trying to keep the tires as up to temperature as best we can here, and as we're just weaving now, but we've been caught napping on this restart. There was a bit of traction control for some reason on the restart for us that wasn't allowing us to apply full throttle, so we lost a lot of time. And going into turn 1 and just going defensive from Ragayut behind, but he's a bit too far back to make a move as Fatal Nation gets all out of shape on the exit of turn 1 and nearly goes into the wall. Now exiting turn 2, we're using the overtake button. We have the slipstream from Fatal Nation up ahead. Just 2/10 up ahead is the gap to Fatal Nation. Now through turn 3 and exiting turn 3 now. Going into turn 4, and we're going to try and get the move done on Fatal Nation as soon as possible, because if we can do that, then we can close up on the guys up ahead. At this stage of the race, Fatal Nation's hard tires are definitely going to be slower because he started on those tires. So not only did he have to do the formation lap on those tires, he had to do the race start as well as so far 4 laps on these tires, and soon to be 5 laps. So his tires have a lot more wear than our tires at this stage of the race. So basically we have fresher tires at this stage of the race. And heading into turn 15, and we almost go deep. Luckily we just about hold it under braking, but the safety car's been deployed again. the safety car has been deployed. Not even a full lap of green flag running here, and the safety car has been deployed again. And we're showing this clip of safety car here because I hit the wall under safety car. Just a dumb mistake, and now we have yellow front wing damage in this race. And I decided to stay out because lap 7 of this race, and we're just going to try and nurse the car with this front wing damage. And we're on the end of the safety car right now, waiting for the leaders to go here, and we're going to try and get a good restart. And the leaders go now. It's a ton of wheel spin, very cold tires here, heading down the straight, and we're closing in on Fatal Nation up ahead. The gap is 1/10 of a second. Going into turn 1, we have a look down the inside, but we can't brake late enough here. And with this damage, keep in mind that we do have to be a bit more careful in the braking zones because we do have slightly less downforce here. And as we're heading down the straight, we're trying to pull alongside Fatal Nation up ahead. We're going to try and go down the inside of turn 3, and Fatal Nation locks up on the exit. We've gotten the move done, and into turn 4, that's crucial here because now we can try and close up to the two guys up ahead who are currently on the medium tire. JB, who started on the soft, has pitted for the mediums, and then AVT Pink up ahead of him has started on those medium tires. So both of those guys at this stage of the race, I think, are definitely on the wrong strategy here. But it'll be interesting to see which strategy comes out on top. And now, heading through this left-hander, and there's only a particular few corners where the damage was really affecting the car's downforce and handling, in my opinion. One of those corners was turn 7, as we get our first warning in this race. And we don't get a penalty this race for track limits, so nothing to worry about with warnings there. But exiting turn 16, now heading through turns 18 and 19, and the first time I took those corners with damage, I definitely felt a loss of downforce. But lap 9 of this race here, and the gap up ahead is 3 seconds, and the safety car has been deployed as we head into the castle section. And it's 3 safety cars in not even 9 full laps of this race, which is absolutely ridiculous. You can see JB has gone into the pit lane once again here, and on the very next lap, AVT Pink decides to pit. So I think those guys are either going on a set of hards or another set of mediums. And at this stage of the race, everyone who is not in the top 4 is on the medium tire. So they're on the faster tire here. And as we're on the end of this safety car period, preparing for this safety car restart, we're going to control this restart here, weaving to keep temperature in the tires, and we go now using the overtake button, and our teammate Mince is having a look around the outside of Ragayut and heading into turn 1 and exiting turn 1 now, and you could see in the mirrors that Mince has hit the wall, and I don't think he got damage actually, but he has lost a position to FG Brent. But now heading down this straight, and the gap behind is half a second to Ragayut, and heading into turn 3, and we're just going to try and defend from the guys behind, which would definitely be difficult with this damage here. But lap 13 of this race, heading on to lap 14, and you can see Pyro is right behind us here, or Pyro, and heading into turn 1, and he's not close enough to make a move. Exiting turn 1, and he gets a good exit on us, and into turn 2, and he straight lines for a second, and we have to turn out of the corner, and he gets the move done here. So we've lost a position to Pyro up ahead, who possibly won't have to make another pit stop in this race. Turn 3, Ragayut has a look down the inside. He goes slightly deep because he had the tighter line. Heading into turn 4, we've been hit from behind, we've been pushed straight into the wall. Now we have major damage basically to our front wing. Heading into turn 5, there's cars all over us as the safety car has been deployed here. And now this is where our race started to go downhill, because now we have damage. Now we have to pit. Well, now we had more damage than what we had before. We have to pit for a new front wing. We're gonna go onto the medium tire, hopefully to the end of the race. Say hopefully, remember that. But we're in the pit lane now, and for some reason the car's not even going at the speed limit for whatever reason here. But we're in the pit box now, replacing the front wing, mediums hopefully to the end of the race, and exiting the pit box now. And FG Brent up ahead actually had a 5-second stop-go penalty that he had to serve, so we're able to jump him in the pit lane. But yeah, not an ideal situation. Basically what happened is Ragayut missed the braking point, and we were sent into the wall because of it. But you can see, look at this here. We're just warming up the tires under safety car here. FG Brent goes straight into the back of us and overtakes us under safety car, and the game gives me a 5-second time penalty here. And for whatever reason, the game somehow allows FG Brent to keep that position even though he overtook me under safety car. So that's probably the dumbest glitch I've ever seen on this game. But now we've lost a position under safety car, and on this restart we're going to try and regain that position as well as many more. On this restart we go now. We're using the slipstream of FG Brent up ahead. I'm confident that I can get this 5-second penalty removed at the end of the race. Exiting turn 1, and AVT Pink has been spun round, so that's a free position here. Turn 2, and we're still looking for moves on the guys up ahead. Exiting turn 2, taking it easy out of here just because we don't want to get caught up in any more crashes in this race. And heading into turn 3, we have a slight look down the inside, but we're way too far back to make a move on FG Brent. And heading into turn 4, a slight tap of the wall, but no damage as you can see. And now up ahead everyone is very close, and we can use this to our advantage to try and close in the gap on the guys up ahead. And the gap right now is just 6/10, but with everyone bunching up together, it will probably go down significantly here. Heading into the castle section, taking it pretty cautiously here just to make sure we don't hit a wall. Now exiting the left-hander down this little high-speed section here, and the gap is closing. 4/10 is the gap to FGE Brent, and while the DRS is still disabled, we can try to take advantage of this, because since no one has DRS, maybe it'll make it easier for us to go for a move on the guys up ahead. And now exiting turn 16, going into turn 18 here, and exiting turn 19, and Fatal Nation has a big snap of oversteer, and that allows FG Brent to draw alongside him here. We turn off the overtake button, and we're just picking up the slipstream from FG Brent up ahead of us. Heading into turn 1, those two will still be side by side into turn 1, and they're side by side still exiting turn 1, and FG Brent has come out ahead of Fatal Nation. Exiting turn 3, and Fatal Nation taps the wall, but so do we. Luckily no damage for us. Now heading down the straight, we used some of the overtake button, but we weren't able to close in on Fatal Nation up ahead. Exiting turn 3, Fatal Nation gets a big snap of oversteer here, so clearly he is struggling at this stage of the race. Exiting turn 4 now, and the gap up ahead is just 4/10 of a second. And now exiting turn 6, and we really have to try and set up a move for the main straight, or maybe even somewhere else on the lap somehow, but probably the main straight, because it's very hard to overtake in the corners here unless it's turn 1 or turn 2, maybe turn 3. But exiting this left-hander now, and we're using some of the overtake button. We're just losing time here because at this stage we're getting pretty much held up by Fatal Nation up ahead, but there's really no place for us to overtake in the middle sector. It's pretty difficult to overtake in the middle sector, so we've lost time, and we're going to try and get the move done on this main straight here. Now heading through turn 17, turn 18, and we're closing up on Fatal Nation up ahead of us. And we actually don't have the DRS because DRS has not been enabled yet. We're using the overtake button here as Pyro sets the fastest lap. We pull to the outside of the circuit here. DRS has now been enabled, braking for turn 1. We're going to try and go around the outside here, just about keeping it on track. Turn 2, and Fatal Nation is still alongside us. He actually goes slightly into us here. Now exiting turn 2, going down the straight, and we have to use all of our battery here to keep Fatal Nation behind. But you can see he just has more straight line speed with the slipstream. Maybe he had more battery as well, but he did have the DRS, so that allowed him to get back past us. So at this stage of the race, we're just losing time, kind of stuck behind Fatal Nation at this stage of the race. And now heading down the straight here, and for lap 19 of this race, we're going to have DRS this time. And as Ellie's XN sets the fastest lap, Fatal Nation's red light is flashing at the back of his car, but we have no ERS left. Heading into turn 1, we're going around the outside, exiting turn 1. We've gotten the move done, and we go slightly defensive before moving back to the racing line for turn 2. Someone spun round. That's FRA Pyro. He's spun round here. So that's a free position for us. And we've actually managed to get the move done on Fatal Nation. So now we just have to try and pull out of the DRS from Fatal Nation behind. And we have to try and close in on the guys up ahead. And now lap 21 of this race, towards the end of lap 21. And we have closed in on the two guys up ahead. FGE Brent at this stage of the race has damage. We're going to try and get a move done on him. But FGE Brent has has hit the brakes at a flat out corner. And it's just impossible for us to avoid that. And we have no front wing. Our teammate's been taken out of this race. And the race has just been ruined now. And it's pretty much race over for us here. Now we're in the pit lane, and our race has been destroyed here. And the crazy thing is, we got a penalty for it, because this game is just ridiculous sometimes with penalties. We got a penalty because we couldn't avoid someone who was braking on the exit of a flat out corner. So that's nice, but our race is over now pretty much. We're in last of the people who have still survived in this race, and we're just going to try and do something on these last few laps. We got past Pyro on lap 23, and I think he had disconnected or something, which is why we were able to make that move rather easily. We set the fastest lap starting lap 24, and then towards the middle of lap 24, FGE Brent or someone has retired, and that's a free position for us once again. Now exiting the left-hander, cutting on to lap 25 now, and we caught up to ABT Pink, who had major damage in this race, and we get the move done very easily on him. And that's pretty much all that happened in this race. So yeah, race ruined pretty much. We had a chance of the win, then we got sent into the wall towards the beginning of the race, and then we still had a chance at a double podium for LBR, and then we just got destroyed pretty much trying to get the move done on a damaged car. So yeah, frustrating once again. No luck in this league because of something that's been completely out of my control. Very frustrating here, but you can see the podium celebrations here. We had a chance of the win today. It was taken away, and that's unfortunate. But guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, as I post F1 content 3 times per week, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. As for the future regarding us racing in this league, LBR will no longer race in this league due to a poor driving standard here. So we pulled out of the league, so currently I'm not racing in any leagues, but I'll still try and put out content for you guys. Anything from track guides to whatever you want to see, let me know in the comments. But guys, that's going to be it here from me today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.